I will call this meeting to order at 12:02 p.m. So we respectfully acknowledge that the SFSS is located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Katzie nations. Unceded means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we're currently situated on occupied territories. I also think you all should check out the FNSA's statement, because I think last week on Orange Shirt Day, SFU did not invite Indigenous students to a bunch of things, and it was just very not great. So definitely check out their statement. It's on their social media. Okay, I will move on to roll call of attendance. So just state your name, pronoun, and access needs. I'll go first. I'm Jennifer, she, her pronouns, and I'm just chilling in bed right now because it's way too cold to get out of bed. I think this is like the first time an SFSS meeting has been chaired from bed. Definitely not the first time an SFSS meeting has been attended to from bed though. Okay, so I will move on to intros from Communications, Art, and Technology representative, Heather.
Hello everyone, my name is Heather, pronouns are he, him, his, and access needs are being met, just like my camera will be turned off.
Okay, thank you, Heather. Next we have Education Rep Emerly.
Hi, my name is Emerly, my pronouns are she, her, hers, and all my access needs are met.
Thanks, Emerly. And next we have Karishma.
Hi, I'm Karishma. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and my accessibility needs are met. My camera is off because I'm eating right now.
Oh, I wish that could be me. I'm so hungry. Oh, but I'm getting a vegan lasagna delivery soon. Hopefully it doesn't happen during this meeting. Okay, so next we have Emma.
Hi, my name is Emma. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and all my access needs are met.
Thank you, Emma. And we have Fiona. Skip me, please. Okay. Oh, Fiona's on the phone. So I will skip and go to Abby.
Hey, my name is Abby. Pronouns are he, him. All my access needs are met. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby. Next we have Yashvir.
Hi, my name is Yashvir. My pronouns are he, him, his, and all my access needs are met right now. Although my Wi-Fi is a bit slow, so I'm gonna have to keep my camera turned off.
That's fine, thank you. And we have Ahad.
Hi, I'm Ahad Max. My pronouns are he, him, and my access needs are being met. I just need to keep my camera turned off.
Thank you. And lastly, we have Adrian.
Hi, Adrian, she, her. All my access needs are being met. I'm just on my phone right now because my computer was glitching out, so hopefully this works okay.
Thank you, Adrian. We also have SFSS staff with us today. Our events coordinator, Dipti.
Hi, my name is Dipti, pronouns she, hers. All my access needs are met. And sorry, I'm going to keep my camera turned off.
No worries. Thank you, Dipti. We also have our admin assistant, Samaya, here.
Hi, Samaya is here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and all my access needs are met. I just will mute my camera.
Thank you, Samaya.
Thank you.
Okay, so I will move on to ratification of regrets now. So be it resolved to ratify regrets from whom Luckid. I never know how to pronounce his last name. Can I get a mover, please?
Abby.
Thanks, Abby. Can I get a seconder?
Emma.
I heard Emma. So Abby moves, Emma seconds. I don't think there's going to be any discussion. It's pretty straightforward. He couldn't make it today because he had an appointment. Okay, so all in favor seeking unanimous consent. So unmute your mic if you dissent. Okay, looks like the motion carries. I will move on to adoption of the agenda. Can I be it resolved to adopt the agenda as presented? Can I get a mover?
Abby.
Thank you, Abby. Can I get a seconder?
Heather.
I think I heard Karishma first. So Abby moves, Karishma seconds. I will have to move to amend the agenda to include a Samosa food workshop update and the trivia week motion, which is be it resolved to approve $350 for trivia week. And I also sent out a bunch of attachments in an email, but since it's kind of a mess, here, I'll link the events debrief document in the chat because that's all the documents are in there and it's nice and easy to read. Okay, so the amendments I needed to make were the Samosa food workshop update and the trivia week motion. So can I get a seconder for these amendments? Oh, yeah, a seconder.
Emily.
Thank you, Emily. And I don't think there should be any discussion. It's just like an update on a workshop and we needed to pass money. So I'll move on to a vote. All in favor seeking unanimous consent? Okay, so the amendment carries. Now we're back to the main motion, which is be it resolved to adopt the agenda as amended. All in favor seeking unanimous consent? So unmute your mic if you dissent. Okay, so looks like that motion is carried as amended. Now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Be it resolved to approve the minutes from the August 14th, 2020 meeting. Can I get a mover?
Abby.
Thanks, Abby. Can I get a seconder? Heather. Oh, okay. So Abby moves, Heather seconds. I don't think we have approved a lot of minutes before. So for any people who are kind of confused about what this is, basically, we usually review the minutes of the previous meeting just so we ensure that everything's accurate and that it accurately reflects all the discussion we had at our meeting. And then once we approve it, I'll be sending it to the SFSS board and then they'll approve it and then it'll be up on the website publicly for anybody to see. So that's just what this is. We're just approving the minutes and making sure that they're accurate for our records. So all in favor seeking unanimous consent? Okay, so it looks like that motion carries too. I will move on to new business. 7.1 is SFU Esports and SFU CAC, Canadianized Asian Club, I think it was, SFSS Club collaboration. So first, can I get a mover for this motion?
Emily moves.
Thanks, Emily. Can I get a seconder?
Abby.
Okay, so Emily moves, Abby seconds. For discussion, does anyone want to talk about it? Maybe one of the event leads?
Yeah, for sure. So Abby and I attended a meeting with CAC and SFU Esports, I believe, like, when was it? Last Monday?
Yeah.
Last Sunday?
Something like that. It was like, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. Sorry, all the days are blending together. But anyway, so similar to the SFU Esports and SFU Anime Summer Game Fest, which boasted around 300 attendees over 2 days, Esports is asking for the same amount as last time, $600 from the SFSS Events Committee to be used towards $25 gift cards and $50 gift cards from Amazon as raffle prizes. So the event will span over 4 days this time from October 28th to the 31st. Esports will be applying for a $130 SFSS grant on top of this for $100 for more gift cards and then $30 for Facebook paid promotions. So this time, that's what they're doing. And then CAC will also be, I think they already submitted a grant for another $100 gift cards. So I think that's it. Abby, did you have any?
Nope, they're just going through the planning stages, picking out which games they're going to do. I think they had a couple polls that were going on, so we'll get more clarification probably soon.
Does anyone remember how many days the anime and esports one was? It was only 2 days? I thought
it was 2 days during July 20 something. I can look it up right now.
For some reason, I thought, oh, Fiona says
week
a
long?
week long for anime.
Well,
Oh, okay. Because if it was 2 days and it's 4 days this time, and then they're requesting the same amount, that makes sense. But if it was a week long and then 4 days this time, doesn't.
I think their stuff is a lot more intensive this time. Like the stuff they had last time was like, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They had a 2-day tournament. Remember, they had like Smash Bros and stuff last year.
Oh, okay. Okay. I wish Poom was here because I feel like the gift card grant, does anyone know if it was like increased? Because Poom told me that there was no limit as to how much you could request for gift cards, like as a grant.
I'm trying to look through his post-event report right now. It doesn't say anything.
Yeah, and I guess if they're only applying for like $100 gift card grant, and that's so it would be more than $600 in gift cards total for this 4-day event.
Yeah, so last event with SFU Anime, they requested $600 and they also applied for $100 grants each club. So it was a total of $800 again.
Oh, what's the grand prize?
So yeah, I was just going to talk about that. Originally, when Abby and I talked to them, they wanted to spend the the money that we provide them to purchase Amazon gift cards. But then I just spoke with their vice president afterwards, and they asked if it was okay if they spent some of the $600 for a grand prize, such as a Nintendo Switch. So that would be approximately $450 after tax. And then they discussed that the grand prize would have a nice ring to it and make more students interested versus just purely gift cards. And then the rest of the money would be for gift cards.
Okay.
So it's like, would we care if it went towards just gift cards, or if we would care if it was towards the Nintendo Switch and some gift cards?
Fiona's on the list. Maybe you have a response?
I just want to clarify. So like eSport did this collaboration with Anime Club before. So majority of the members that participate that event was from the anime side and few from the eSports side. 2 of the tournaments, Valorant and League, I think Smash was in there somewhere for like Saturday and Sunday. Majority of the week, since it was a week-long event starting from Monday to ending on Sunday, it was majority of anime side running all the games throughout, exhausting the execs. In terms of what they want from that, eSport generally loves the big tone of having a grand prize. Despite that, they couldn't get a grand prize, especially one of the eSport person wants to smuggle, like do some sort of embezzlement with like abusing the system. Sorry, insider information, but they got a Nintendo Switch Lite for the grand prize, and they used their sponsorship to provide them for that grand prize. So I'm not sure if they're doing that this time. And yeah, that's all I want to clarify. It's a bit, the whole process of the whole collab for anime and eSport was really messy.
Thanks for providing background information, Fiona. Emily, do you know if they mention anything about a sponsor and whether they get a sponsor to provide a prize this time?
Yeah, so they do have some sponsors. They sent me their graphic yesterday. I can share my screen to show it to you. It does say, does everyone see my screen right now?
Yeah, that looks so good.
Okay, yeah. So right now it does say that the grand prize is a Nintendo Switch, but we haven't given them green light on it. And then, yeah, it says these other prizes.
Okay. Did they give like an estimate as to how many people would be there?
Yeah, so the thing is, they did say that last event they did, I think they were referring to Game Fest with anime. They did say that they had approximately 300 attendees, but now that Fiona's saying it was mostly from anime, I'm not sure.
I think Dipti has a direct response, so you can go ahead.
Hi, I just want to say this really a nice and big event, but I wanted to see if we have any ground rules for like, because I know we sponsored them 2 months ago or a month ago, but because we have just started, so maybe, you know, it's a big amount. So tomorrow, if our events committee member comes and says, I want to plan this event and the price I want is like $600, you know. So we should really like channelize our communication with in response to those collaborations as well, because it shouldn't happen like every 2 months we have been sponsoring $600 plus they're getting $200 from the grant, which is like $800 in prizes. And that's all going like, although we see it's events committee money, but it's all going through SFSS, you know? So and are we doing it for our events as well? Like, you know, so I really think maybe if we just tell them like, you know, if they're asking and we end up giving, that would just give them an impression that that's okay. Like tomorrow, you know, we'll have another club coming and say, hey, we want to do $1,000 because now you did, you know, because there are possibilities that one club member would be a member of the other clubs as well. So just want us to be like mindful of our budget and of our guidelines as well. And of course, we will learn as we go. So if we do not have it now, we may not have anything to say to this club right now. But maybe if we just make our hands a little tighter and say that, you know, that if you're applying for grants from SFSS, please note that we cannot provide you grant, or maybe because we are collaborating with you, you cannot apply. But I know, Jennifer, I don't remember what came out of the MSA meeting because I had another meeting, so I had to leave, about the granting for the prizes. So I think we did have discussion around that as well. Like if a club is asking for grant from SFSS as well, and they're asking for additional money from events committee. So how is that, how are we going to handle that? So maybe I'll let Jennifer talk about it a little more because I had to leave that meeting earlier. But I just think like maybe we should add this point into the collaboration document as well. So not for this club, but like just moving forward.
Okay. Fiona is next on the list.
Sorry, kind of just like want to add a bit more about the collab event for the eSport and CAC. I feel like the attendee would be lower than Game Fest, like my prediction. So I'm not sure if they're doing tournaments again because it was a bit one-sided, and it's like basically, oh, free money for UBC esports to win. That's literally what happened for the tournament prizes for the money. So it would be best to like see like any prediction of how many people would attend this event, especially if they're doing it through Discord.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the dates right now. Their event is on the 28th, and our next events committee meeting isn't until the 21st, which is exactly 1 week away. So if we were to like table this motion, it would be really tight. Another option we could do is like amend the motion to decrease the amount awarded. Because I feel like there's still a lot of uncertainty here. I don't know if they're getting a Nintendo Switch from a sponsor. And you know, I feel like there's not enough information almost. But I think personally, I would be comfortable passing a motion, well, amending the motion to say like a smaller amount than 600 and give them like just enough for a Nintendo Switch in case they can't get it from a sponsor. Emily, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to provide some additional information. I do have access to the document with all the logistics. So they've clearly outlined which games they're doing on each day and who is going to be representing. So Abby is helping out with Minecraft mini games.
Me and Russell.
Yeah. So they do have like a pretty solid list. I'm just not sure what they're doing with the Nintendo Switch. I think they advertised it on their graphics before we even gave them the green light. So I think they were just doing that. I'm not sure.
Does anyone know how much a Nintendo Switch is?
Yeah, so it says $450. That's with tax.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe they sent over. Have they posted the graphics anywhere, or was that just to send?
No,
to
they're going to post on Friday, they said. I said I was going to follow up with the committee first and then let them know.
Sorry. Do you know if they could get a Switch? Because I know Switch is really high demand during COVID season.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so that's one of the problems because they might not get a Switch, and especially like if people do buy a Switch, they're probably gonna upscale the price anyways, because during the season everyone wants to play the Switch in Animal Crossing or Ring Fit Challenge.
Yeah.
Hey, Crown Tundra's coming out soon too, and Steve's coming to Smash.
I'm not a gamer, so I don't know what that means, but I saw on the document that you screen shared, Emily, that it said like $200 contribution from each group. Is that through SFSS grants that have been confirmed?
Let me look through it again. Yeah, so that was just their asking. So CAC applied for $100, esports applied for $100 with $30 on top for Facebook advertisement.
Abby, you can go ahead.
Just to address the Switch stuff, it looks like every single nearby Best Buy to me has plenty of Switches, and they're offering them online, so I don't think it'll be too much of a problem to get a Switch. At least from Best Buy. I don't know from other places. It's $400 from Best Buy.
Okay. Emily, you can go ahead.
I think the main point of interest is not like if they can get it, it's if the SFSS events committee is willing to provide the funding to go towards the Switch.
Okay, so instead of $600 for gift cards, it would just be for the Switch.
It would be the Switch, and then the residual funding would go towards gift cards.
Okay. I think since that they're already applying for a grant for the gift cards, it might be reasonable if we just provide funding for the Switch and then not provide additional funding for gift cards, since they can just get that for the grant from the grant. What do we think? Should we amend the motion to change it to $500 or however much a Switch costs? Feel free to just type stuff in the chat. Abby? Oh, I don't know if it was Emily or Abby first.
Emily can go first.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot. Before we discuss that, I just wanted to go back to the graphics. Just because an issue that I noticed was the logo wasn't at the top with the other clubs, because this is an official collaboration that we're doing. When I did it last year, all the promotions had to have like SFSS in the title, or like make sure that people know we're affiliated with this, because we are providing a lot of funding. So that was just one thing I flagged. I don't know if everyone else feels the same way. I just need to know if there's any other issues that you see with the graphics before I give them the okay that this graphic is okay.
Yeah, Dipti says I agree, and I think I agree too. It would be nice to have all the logos up top. That's a good catch. I was just blown away by the graphics. I didn't notice their logo. Okay, maybe you can bring that back to them after this meeting. Abby, you can go ahead.
I'll say I agree with you guys as well. I think we should be at the top with CAC and esports. And I'm also in favor of reducing it to say $500 because I know that you can get a Switch for under that, and then they still have a little bit of, like you said, residual to maybe buy a gift card, or I think there was some other GX something they wanted to buy as a prize. So that may leave a little bit of money left over for that.
Okay. And they can't request, can they request that much from a grant for a prize? I don't think they can. So I think providing money to fund the grand prizes, but not so much for the gift cards, would be a good idea. And maybe $450 to $500 is enough of a room in case there's any, like in case they get a Switch and it actually costs way more than what we found online. It gives them that space to, like, a contingency. So what does everyone think about 500 instead of 600? Is it still a lot? Fiona, you can go ahead.
I was wondering, I totally forgot how much did FSSS fund for Game Fest last semester?
It was 600 as well.
I would say less than 600 or just the Switch amount, because I feel like they've been abusing the system a lot. That's what I thought.
Okay, so I have Abby first and then Emily.
I think, like you mentioned, because of stuff like contingency, I think 500 is fine.
Okay. Emily, you can go ahead.
Yeah, this was a direct response to Fiona. I know that they asked for $600 from the events committee during the summer, but did SFU Anime and SFU Esports apply for a grant for $100 each to make it $800? Because I'm pretty sure that's what they were aiming for again. So if I'm just checking that it's correct.
I don't have access to Treasury, so I can't look at the grants. So I might have to like talk to one of my treasurer to see if they did that grant or not. But I believe that my president was really highly against having the esports buying something using FSSS money. That's why they had their sponsorship to sponsor them a what's it called, Nintendo Switch Lite. Yeah, and plus, like, I believe my president didn't want that many gift cards because knowing that attendance would be not as much of high attendance as in person, but lower, because there are more incentive of people outside of SFU will win that, I believed.
I'm pretty sure the gift cards would only be for SFU students. So if we do pass a motion, you have to like make it clear to them that the prizes would be for SFU students. Okay, so I have Emily first and then Dipti.
I thought Abby was, or no, that was me again, sorry. I don't remember exactly what they said. I don't know, Abby, if you remember, but they talked about verifying the students after.
So I remember they mentioned something like that for Minecraft because Russell was like flexing about all the followers he has who like to join his Minecraft server. But he said he could, I don't remember exactly how he was going to do it. I'm not sure how they're verifying if it's an SFU student or not. I guess if we could be hesitant to send out the cards and make sure we send out those forms, you know, the forms where you have to put your student number and stuff, and that way we can make sure people aren't like faking it. So if they fill out the forms first and we figure out it's like a fake student number, we can maybe have like a certain number of backup draws, just to make sure that like only SFU students are getting it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you need to put your SFU email down with the form, the gift card form. But Dipti, you can go ahead.
Hi. So 3 things. First, great job, Emily and Abby, for getting all the information. We know it's not easy to go back and forth and find out everything about the events and then having to discuss here. Second thing, for the prizes, I really think we shouldn't really show as in we are different entities, like they're getting grant as well for the same thing. Even though we lower the amount from 600 to 500, we're still giving this idea like, okay, they're getting the same, like they're getting additional money from the grant and they're getting from events committee. So we're not different. It's all SFSS money, and it's just like we operating under different committees. So if they ask for 600, we can do that, but we can clearly tell them that they cannot apply for the grant for the same thing. So if they want, they can go ahead and they can apply grant for the Nintendo Switch that they want, but they cannot apply for the grant for gift cards. And again, I would say it's a lot of money, and we shouldn't really promote it this way. Third thing, if we have guidelines somewhere, or if not, Jennifer, let me know. I can maybe create a document and have points ready. So when we send out, like maybe we can update our guidelines every 2-3 months or after every 2-3 events. So things that we learn, because I know last year Emily worked on this collaboration like this, and it was a huge project actually. And I know how things used to go left and right, and too much work for her as well. So this year, here we are again doing the same thing, because we really do not have any guidelines, any clear things. So clubs just come, and I like Fiona's feedback as well. So thank you so much, Fiona, for that as well. So they're just coming and they're getting it, although, there may not be enough participants. So maybe our guidelines should also say that this much amount for up to this many participants, because I'm pretty sure the club's grant guidelines are saying something along that side. Because if they only have 50 people and we're giving $600, then it's just like we're providing for each participant, where that event may not be big. So why we're doing collaboration is because we want our name out there. So if $600 is only reaching 60 people, or only 60 people are benefited, then it's not really giving any benefit to us as well. And if we want to provide grant, and that's why club grant system is there, to help this club with their events and everything. So our collaboration is because we want to help these clubs. We want this club to get additional money, which is not covered under the grant. But if the grant is not covering more than $100 or $200 and we providing that money, that means we as an SFSS, we're telling them, okay, well, here is a loop, like how you can get money from us. So it's just like we have to be very mindful of what message we're giving out to clubs as well. Maybe we can refer to something about the history, like this is what we had observed, and based on that, this situation, we can help you with this, but you cannot apply for grants. So let's be on this thing, because Jennifer, you and me, we're part of the MSA committee as well, and we want to make sure that we listen there and we actually apply it here as well. So that way we just like, we're not just completely ignoring the things that we discuss at the MSA committee.
Yeah, thank you, Dipti. We have some things in the chat. Adrian says, I think it's super important that it only goes to SFU students. I think that having guidelines would be great, Dipti, so I can touch base with you on that later after this meeting. As for the prize, the reason why I kind of didn't really want the event collaboration stuff to be used for gift card is because I'm pretty sure you can get unlimited funding through the grant system on gift cards specifically, but not for big prizes like the Nintendo Switch, which is why I feel like we can give them a Nintendo Switch if they don't have it from a sponsor, because I'm not sure what sponsor would give them like unlimited Nintendo Switches, especially if they already got one in July. So that's why I'm leaning towards giving them money just for the prize and not for the gift cards, because I think there's no limit to gift cards through the grant system. Abby, you had a direct response to something?
Yeah, I wanted to go a little bit more off what Dipti's saying. I don't like the idea of them double dipping either. It seems like they're just trying to like abuse the system. So I actually wouldn't mind us approving the whole $600 grant if it meant that then their or not the grant, the $600 request here, if it meant their grants are going to be denied. Like, we got to keep them on like a one track. I know you mentioned them applying for $100 grants, but Like we got to set a precedent here where they can only go to one place. And if we want them to stick to there because of that, it might be a little bit too late to tell them now, but now at least they'll know for the future. And we gotta, like, when people are just, I guess, when we're first meeting with people to collaborate, we gotta make sure they know the rules, because I feel like a lot of clubs just don't know the rules, and that's why we end up in a situation like this in the first place.
Something to keep in mind though is if we approve the whole thing, that coming out of the money we set aside specifically for club collaborations. And so if we approve a lot for this one event, that means there's less money left in the club collaborations to go for other events. But we can always pass another motion to increase the club collaboration stuff. But yeah, Fiona, you can go ahead.
So I asked my treasurer for SFU Anime. So we got 200 for the Game Fest itself, along with your 600 in the FSSS sponsor that Foon gave. And also eSport probably roughly around $200 itself, plus the Nintendo Switch Lite from the sponsorship, which I think I remember his sponsorship was offering around like roughly $400 in gift cards before. And then they turned into a Switch Lite at the last minute of the event.
Thank you, Fiona. Emily, you had a direct response?
Yeah, this was to the conversation prior to what Fiona said. So are we providing money for the purchase of the Switch only, and then they can purchase gift cards with the money that they get from the grant? Is that what we're saying?
Kind of what I'm leaning towards, but I don't know. What do other committee members think? Feel free to list yourself in the chat about your thoughts. Because the reason why I'm leaning towards just providing the prize money is because I don't think they can get that kind of money for a Nintendo Switch from the grant, but I'm pretty sure they can get gift cards through that. Adrian says, I think we're providing them with too much money. So Adrian, do you mean like for the Switch or just like in total, or like should we lower the amount?
I guess I would say like in general, like kind of going along just what Abby and Dipti were saying about how it's coming from both the grants and the SFSS events committee funds. I just think that seems like a bit much to ask for, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think the issue is that if they want a Nintendo Switch, I'm pretty sure the grant is going to be denied because there's probably like a maximum amount on the grant. I don't remember ever seeing any on the grant application form when I had to fill it out. And that's like my main concern, is that if we tell them, hey, you're only going to get like $200 from us, and that goes towards the Switch, but it's not enough for a Switch. And then now they just have $200 from us and then some grant money. Is that enough, do we think? Or like, is another monetary amount enough? Or what are people's thoughts? Because if we're providing them with too much money right now at $600 or at $500, what amount should we give them instead? Fiona, you can go ahead.
I mean, like, if they're double dipping, because like checking on the previous history, they've been getting over $1,000 in terms of prizes. And then I guess it was like pretty much amount, but then again, this is before like we had that form for the gift card, because there was like that huge amount just because of there was tournaments. But the problem was like what I had with the event is that people who are not in SFU didn't win the prize. That was like my thing that I took away from it. And I feel like they should have like a less amount from the previous event, because I'm not, it looks like from like what Emily showed, there wasn't tournaments on the schedules. So.
Yeah, I agree. So in the chat, Dipti is asking, can they find a different prize option instead of the Switch? And I think there was like a second place prize, and it was like a Logitech thing. I don't know what that is. And then Abby says, honestly, it depends on if the grants will be approved. Does anyone have
Sorry,
any thoughts?
I just want to say that like the Logitech, I just searched, it's around like $60-something. It's a mouse and keyboard, so I guess that's $60-something for the mouse, and then keyboard's probably roughly 100-ish.
That's a lot for a mouse and keyboard. Wow. Okay. So if we provide funding for these types of prizes, what do people think is a good amount? Like, are we even providing funding at all? I'm mindful of the time, so we should maybe somebody could amend the motion or like talk about what monetary amount is good for this event. Right now, I think maybe 400, but that might be a bit too much. What does everyone think? Okay, Abby has to move his iPad every time he's typing, so I assume you're listing yourself, Abby. Okay, Abby, you can go ahead.
Again, I think it's really important to clarify what we're funding. Once we figure out what we're funding, then we can figure out what amount we're actually going to do. So I think we should clarify that first.
Yeah, but I feel like since our next events committee meeting isn't until like literally a week before the event, maybe that's cutting it too close. Emily, you can go ahead.
A little off topic, but I just wanted to refer back to what Dipti said earlier about creating guidelines. I think it's because we don't have these guidelines in place. It's kind of hard for us to say flat out, no, we cannot fund for more prizes because of your last event and the track record. So I definitely do think we should provide some funding. It's just what Abby said again, what we want to fund and how much we want to fund.
Okay. So do you think we should postpone the meeting until the next events committee meeting, or is that too late? Okay,
Since they are planning, sorry, I know I didn't list myself again, but Abby wanted to say something too. Because they are planning to start promoting on Friday, I think we should probably make a decision at this meeting. I don't know how everyone else feels based on the information that's already provided.
Okay, Abby, did you want to say something?
Yes, please. I'm with Emily on this as well. We got to figure out what we want to fund. Do we want to fund the Switch, or do we just want to fund like Fiona said, like $300 in gift cards? Like, once we figure if we're funding the Switch, then our number is set. It's $450. If we're not funding the Switch, then we can go and see how much in gift cards. Then maybe 300 is an appropriate amount. But if we are funding the Switch, we can't just give them $300 because that's not the whole Switch. So that's the number one thing we should determine now, because I agree with Emily. We got to figure this out now, no matter how long it takes or whatever. We got to figure this out now. And then from there, if we're funding the Switch, then the number is easy. It's $450. We're done. If we're not funding the Switch, then we can have some debate between 300,
Okay.
400, whatever it is.
So in the chat, Dipti says we can approve the fund as far as they don't apply for the grant for the same thing. So I think we have two options that I can see. We can give like 300 or 400-ish in gift cards and make sure that they don't, like, their grants get turned away and rejected. So they would only have whatever amount we give them for gift cards and prizes. The second option is to let them do the grant funding, but only provide money for a prize that can't be used towards gift cards. And then we would have to make it clear that in the future, they can't just like double dip with the grant and the events collaboration. So, okay, maybe we can have like a little straw poll thing. Just hit like a thumbs up or like any react if you are okay. Actually, there's a few reactions here. Maybe hit the heart react if you're more in favor of the funding prizes only and giving them the option of requesting a grant for gift cards. And react with a thumbs up if you are more in favor of just giving them the $600 for gift cards and whatever, but then refusing their grant. Okay, so wait, what did I say? Thumbs up was for thumbs up was for giving them the whole thing, but not for the grant. Heart was for the prizes. Okay, so I think Heather is doing heart. Wait, now I'm confused because okay, now he's...
And they just like write it in the chat, maybe.
Oh yeah,
That's a good
okay.
idea.
Yeah,
So
it's a little
thumbs
confusing.
up equals give 600, reject grant. Heart equals give 400-ish for prize, also give grant. Okay, and then just to be clear, the grant is stuff that they're requesting separately just for gift cards.
I think Hyder just said he doesn't have a heart emoji, so maybe we should just say option 1, option 2, put it in the chat, so it's nice and clear.
Option 1, 600. Option 2, 400 plus grant. Okay, hopefully that's clear enough. And just speak up or say something. I saw a lot of thumbs up earlier too. It seems like people want just the 600 and no grant. But then I'm kind of confused because then it means we would give them more money, which is like...
Oh, but sorry, hold on.
Maybe we can do 600 for... Oh, actually, Abby, you can go ahead.
Because with the grants, they'd be getting the same amount. It's just a matter of making sure they're taking the right channel. Because it'd be 400 plus 100 plus 100, which is 600 anyways. So it's the same amount. It's just A, letting them know that they have to go through the right channel and they can't double dip. And then B, from now on that they're gonna have, we can let them know from now on that they're requesting too much and they're gonna have to start toning it down.
Okay. Fiona says teach them a lesson. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Maybe in the guidelines we can specify this as well. So I'm gonna talk to Dipti about this, the guidelines after the meeting, and bring it back to the committee. But okay, it seems like more people would just like $600, and then Emily and Abby, maybe you can go back to them and say like, we approve $600, but that you won't get an additional grant on top of the $600. So $600 is all they're going to get for this event. Okay, so I don't have to amend the motion, which is great. So, oh, Emily says I will be speaking with the VP today. Nice. Okay, so you can go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to make sure that I have everything correct. So the $600 will go towards solely just gift cards, and then we're going to reject their grant request.
I think the $600 can be used for anything they want, just as long as they don't double dip, because I still feel like $600 is a lot. Abby, you had a direct response?
Yeah, I think I'm with Jan on this one, because if they do end up getting the Switch, that leaves $150 in gift cards, or if they want to get those Logitech stuff, I think it gives them ample room. So whether they get the Switch or whether they do gift cards, I don't think it's I don't know what to say. It's like not that it's not a big deal, but either way, students are going to get an appropriate prize that they'll probably use. That's what I'm trying to say.
Heather, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so when you were talking about Nintendo Switch, I missed out some discussion because my internet was breaking. I was outside. Why don't we go with that? If we feel like 600 is a lot, why don't we go with like $450 for the Nintendo Switch?
So that was an option, but then if we approved only $450 for the Switch, then they would also want gift cards, and then they would be requesting a separate grant from our grant pool for the gift cards. So then it would be split up into two different things. Yeah, that was option 2, but then most people voted for option 1, keep everything in the same place, but then reject the grant so that they don't double dip. They only go to one channel for funding. So we would have to be really clear to them that they can't just use the $600 for like a huge prize that all $600 goes to. It should be split up maybe into gift card prizes and some other grand prizes. Adrian's asking, could they get sponsorship on gift cards? Emily, you could go ahead.
The issue is that I don't have that answer, and if I have to ask them and then we make a decision, that's not really possible because of the timeline we're on. So sorry, I don't have the answer. I don't think I can get it before we make a decision right now.
Yeah. I think if we allow them, if we pass a motion on $600, that's enough for a Nintendo Switch, maybe a secondary prize, and then maybe some gift cards. So even then, I think it'll be, I think it might be the best option we have right now, considering the timeline that we have. Any further discussion? Because if we pass the motion on the $600, we would have to make it clear to esports that and CAC that they can't double dip, and then we would have to say that this $600 is for any grand prizes and for any gift cards, and that their grants will get rejected. Okay. Does not seem like there's any further discussion, so, and there's no amendments either, so I'm just going to move on to a vote. So all in, oh, actually I'll read out the motion. Whereas the SFSS is committed to providing support for clubs and student unions and hosting virtual events during the COVID-19 pandemic. Whereas SFU Esports and SFU CAC represent 2 of the largest social clubs on campus and have recently hosted successful virtual events engaging a large number of students. Whereas a contribution from the SFSS to the SFU Esports and SFU CAC event will enhance student engagement, be it resolved to commit to supporting the SFU Esports and SFU CAC and SFSS event on October 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. Be it further resolved to allocate $600 from club collaborations towards this event. Okay. All in favor, seeking unanimous consent. So unmute your mic if you dissent to approving $600 from club collaborations for this event. Okay, so it looks like motion carries. So the next steps are to let them know like what we discussed today, and also about the graphics thing, make the SFU logo, SFSS logo closer. Emily, you can go ahead.
Did you want me to say anything specifically when I talk to them, like about their future grants? Or I don't know if this was in the newsletter or communicated to the clubs, but that they can't reapply for a collaboration like for this semester after they've already done it once with us. That's how I did it last time. I don't know if we're doing the same thing, but.
Yeah, Dipti, you're on the list.
I think because we didn't have guidelines, we're not in a place to say that. At this moment, if they apply in the future, we can definitely let them know, or maybe within a month's time, we should send out a guideline, a document to all the clubs saying that here are the guidelines for club collaboration. If you haven't applied, please apply now. And that guideline should have, like, if you applied in the past, you're not eligible to apply, because we want to make sure that all the clubs take advantage of this collaboration or of this money, you know. So that way they will be. For now, because I know, Emily, it will put you into a spot right now, because already it's like we are blocking them from the grant as well. Plus, you know, it's like going back and forth. So it's a lot of work for you. I know last time also it had got a lot, it got a lot on your plate. So for now, I would just suggest that if you just go and tell them we just need logo on the top instead of that, because we're sponsoring a big amount, as well as, you know, I think they are also sponsoring this bubble tea place because they're giving out coupons for that bubble tea. Maybe ask them like if they need more money, they can ask the sponsors whose gift cards or whose coupons they're giving away. But other than that, I don't think so. And it takes an hour to discuss on one collaboration. Maybe moving forward, we should just have a working group. And I think Emily, you, me, and Abby and Jennifer, we can sit together and set up those guidelines. So in future, when we receive any collaboration request, we just go through all the grants and see, okay, this tick, 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 and just bring it to the events committee and say that, okay, should we approve this amount or we should not? Because, you know, right now it's like an hour for one event, which I don't think is worth, you know, because at the end of the discussion, we're still approving the same amount, you know, but spent an hour. So just like for all of the members' time consideration, I think we should just, we'll plan it out. I'll talk to Jennifer today, and then maybe we'll have a working group and we'll actually plan out guidelines and everything. And Emily, your feedback will be very valuable on this because you have done it in the past as well. And now also we're going back and forth with things. So we will work on it.
Yeah, that was one of my main concerns regarding like not assigning an events lead, because every single collaboration would have different events leads. So it's kind of hard to form a working group when every event would have different people working on it. But Dipti, you and I can take a look at the guidelines and how things will work after this meeting, because I think maybe if I could send out things on the Discord or via email and people can express interest there, instead of me waiting around and asking people to express their interest at a meeting, it might run smoothly. So hopefully the next collaboration goes smoother. So in the interest of time, I'm just going to move on to 7.2, which is about Trivia Week. So the motion's really short. It's just be it resolved to approve 350 for Trivia Week. Can I get a mover, please?
Abby.
Thanks, Abby. Can I get a seconder?
Emma.
Thank you, Emma. For discussion, so next week is Trivia Week. On the 13th, there's going to be music trivia led by Ahad and supported by Anuki. On Thursday, the 15th, there's going to be Friends Trivia, which is Adrienne and Heather. And on the 16th is Modern Family, which is me and Emma. So basically, this motion is to pass money on gift cards. It would be, I think, $50 for the winner and $25 for second and third place. And this is for each of the 3 trivia events. There's an event plan here. Let me link it in the chat again. And the breakdown, the budget breakdown is there. Okay. No offense, but I hate the laugh track in Friends, so I do not like the show. But do any event leads have anything to say about the trivia? Just please list yourself in the chat. Okay, sounds like I can move on to the motion, which is be it resolved to approve $350 for Trivia Week. All in favor, seeking unanimous consent? Unmute your mic if you dissent. Okay, so that motion carries. Wow, that was so fast compared to the last motion. Okay, so I will move on to discussion items then. So 8.1 is the pumpkin carving event. Actually, let me just share my screen. I asked this question in Discord, but I wanted to get everybody's thoughts on it. So here is a picture of some pumpkins that people can be taught how to carve. The instructor basically can teach these weird, innovative, different pumpkin carving, but I wanted to know if it would be better to do like a normal jack-o'-lantern, or Adrienne wanted to carve an Among Us crewmate. So what do we think? Oh, Anuki says it looks like a spaceship. Yeah, it does. So do we think the pumpkin carving event this month should be teaching these unconventional pumpkins or like normal jack-o'-lanterns? Kirishma says, I think that's so cool. Abby says Among Us one sounds cool. But the Among Us one, it would be like a normal jack-o'-lantern. These are more like, I don't know how to describe them, but you can see the pictures. They're a little different, except you don't have to use a pumpkin for them. You can use any type of squash, I think. So what do people think? Can people have the option of doing their own stars? Because then you can do both. Oh, that's a good idea. Dipti, is it possible to ask the instructor if she can do that? Like give the people the option of doing their own pumpkin stars?
I actually asked her if she can do the normal one as well, but looks like she's only specialized in this kind of carving and not the normal one. So I am looking for somebody who can do the normal pumpkin carving. This one looks like, we'll have to ask students to bring like so many pumpkins, I don't really think, even if it's a normal one, and plus the only concern I have for normal pumpkin carving, and I think that's I don't know what is that called as, but our students will need tools, like those special tools. So this one is like they can make it with whatever is available at home. But again, these are like way too many pumpkins. Like even if they want to make one with like 3 pumpkins, it's not going to look as good as this one looks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think we'll have anybody else doing this one, but definitely we can find people who can do the normal pumpkin carving. And I think, can we vote for this? Like maybe have everyone vote on it. Like option 1 would be like this kind of, and option 2 would be like just the normal regular pumpkin carving.
Okay, so let me put it in the chat. Option 1, unconventional carving. Option 2, normal pumpkin carving. Okay, so vote for 1 or 2 in the chat. So option 1 is unconventional carving, like the picture I showed earlier. 2 is normal pumpkin carving. Okay, so it seems like people are saying the normal one because you can still be creative with it. Okay, yeah, so the normal one.
Great, we got almost everyone for 2. So okay, I will find someone who can do the normal pumpkin carving for us, and we'll do it in the last week of October, depending on the availability as well. This person who sent me this, she cannot do it, so she's out of the question. And I did give her heads up yesterday that our committee is leaning towards the normal one. If you can, and I asked her if she can do it. She said no, so I'll find somebody else. Or if you guys know someone who can do that, who knows or who can demonstrate it for us, maybe host a workshop for us, let me know. Meanwhile, I'll also look for somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. But if we, Fiona, yes, that's right. But if we have someone, or if we have this event, everybody can do it like together. In the past, we did provide pumpkins and we did have like pumpkin painting. But because we cannot do it, we might also offer prizes. So whoever has the best carved pumpkin at the end of the event will win, kind of thing. And of course, we'll have to take the votes and everything. But yeah, that would be cool if everyone comes together and carves a pumpkin. So that's just kind of like we're boosting the Halloween season.
Okay, thank you, Dipti. If there's no further discussion, I'm going to move on to the next item. Okay, I don't see anything in the chat, so I'm going to move on. Okay, it's student group event collaborations. I'm sorry, I feel like everyone's sick of talking about group collaborations, but the deadline was like last week or something, and we did get some new applications. There's I'll just go through it really quickly. I did send emails to the people we rejected last time and told them to look at the grant system instead. But we have somebody who submitted this application on, actually, I don't know when they submitted it, but it's for SFU Real Estate Club. They want to host a Getting Licensed with RECBC event. It's a virtual workshop on October 23rd from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And it would be educating SFU students about getting licensed to become a realtor. And there will be people speaking on their experiences. They are hoping to host a giveaway, but they aren't planning on submitting a grant. So do we have anybody who is interested in taking on this event as event lead, or should I tell them to request a grant instead? Abby, maybe next time you can just raise your hand and I can call on you so you don't have to keep doing that. But okay, Abby says I can. So actually, let me put your name here. Okay, I'll make note of that and I will connect with you after. And hopefully the real estate club is still down to have us help. Okay, so, oh, Abby, you can go ahead.
Thanks. This is like a Senate meeting now. I can just raise my hand and hopefully you're not going to be like Joy Johnson and ignore me when I'm trying to second stuff. I'm kidding, but only partially kidding. I know Maytab's part of that club, so worst case scenario too, if Maytab's available, we could have him sit in during the next meeting and we can talk about it and just have another voice from within the club.
Okay. The thing is, this event is on the 23rd and our next events committee meeting is on the 21st. So I think maybe we can talk to them. Fiona says it seems like they can just submit a grant for it, and I agree. Unless they're looking for like specific event planning support, it doesn't seem like too big of an event. So I can just email them and CC you two and just let them know about the grant option and that our next events committee meeting isn't for a while. Okay, so we have another submission, the Bangladeshi Students Alliance. It's for a short pitch cricket tournament, season 1, which is a social sporting event. Oh shoot, it's in person. Okay, so instantly rejected, never mind. Okay, so the next one is the Ismali Students Association ISA Halloween celebration. So there's going to be 2 components to this Halloween event. The first one is a virtual escape clue for the main event that will be mailed. The second part is an October 30th Zoom virtual Halloween event. So there's going to be like an escape room game, and the first group to finish will each get a $10 Tim Hortons gift card. And there's also going to be a virtual Halloween costume thing. So they need money to mail things out, which is, I don't know how I feel about that, but I think they need some for gift cards as well, which I feel like could be done through a grant, but they're not planning to apply for a grant. So I don't know, what are people's thoughts on it? It was Ismali Student Association, yeah. Heather, did you know anything about this?
No, but I have friends who are in that club. Plus, they once told me that they don't usually they don't get funding from the SFSS. Their funding is separate, like I think from donation or something. So I'm a bit confused about that. Yeah.
Can you ask them about that? Because if it's a club, then they should.
No, that's why because Ismaili, it's a cultural club, and it's only for like Ismaili Muslims. That is a subcaste of like Muslims. So like it's a very minority within Muslims. So it's only for them. That's why they don't like even have table on the club's day. And whatever they don't usually market their events as well because it's for like Ismaili students. So I'm a bit confused about this as well. I'm pretty sure my friend told me like who was a VP in that club last year that they don't take funding from the SFSS, but I I will confirm this.
Okay, yeah, that's weird. Fiona, you can go ahead.
I mean, if they're technically a club, shouldn't they be registered for FSSS portal? And they should have a person, well, 2 people should have the treasury. Like they can look at grants and they can submit a grant for their event. It's up to them, like if they do want to advertise themselves in Clubs Day. So they do have an option if they are a club under FSSS.
Yeah, but the thing is, even if they aren't a club, we still have the option to give them funding because like I wanted to make event club collaboration or like just collaboration in general open to anybody. Like that's an SFU student, of course, because sometimes one individual student will have a great event idea, but because they aren't part of a club, they can't request a grant or anything. So this collaboration could help them a lot. So I don't know, why don't you double check on that, Heather, and connect with me after, and then we can sort that out from there. Okay, so let me go through the next one. It is, oh, ACIT. Hey, I know somebody from this club. It's gonna be a social event, October 16th on Zoom. There's no supplies, no cost. It says they would love to collaborate and get our name out there. They've already started promotions though, so I will just share their club's promotion on the SFSS event social media. Oh, and we hit over 1,300 followers on our events social media. We gained over 100 followers in like a day, which is awesome. Okay, Heather, did you list yourself?
Yeah, just for the Ismali Students Association,
Yeah.
what exactly do you want me to ask them?
Oh, just like double check on whether they can apply for a grant or not, and like what exactly are they hoping to get from us, whether that's money or promotion.
Okay, so they didn't mention that quite like exactly.
They said they just want gift cards and like mailing stuff, but I don't know if they're asking us to cover the entire cost, or because if they have access to the grant, they might apply for the grant and get that covered by the grant and then ask us just to promote. Dipti, you had a direct response?
And also if they have, if the event will be open for SFU students.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so ask about like their club status, whether the event will be open to SFU students, and what exactly they're asking from SFSS events. Heather, you can go ahead.
As far as I know about the events, mostly it's only reserved for like Ismaili students. So, but I can confirm again.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, so moving on, there's one from SFU Life. Oh, I also know somebody from, oh, it's the first weekend of October, so I think that's passed now. And they have not applied for a grant, but they want $120 worth of gift cards. So I will just double check on about that. And then we have the next one, which is Economics Student Society. Oh, the event has passed, never mind. Okay, there's one from University Christian Ministries about a Bob Ross paint night in late October in the evening. They want paintbrushes? It says they want 2 go boxes of paint supplies for people to come get at a contactless pickup location. And then on the night of, they watch a video of Bob Ross through Zoom, I guess, and paint together. I don't know how I feel about the contactless pickup thing. Fiona, you can go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying about the SFU Life since I'm part of SFU Life now.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, they're pretty unsure about that event too. So
Okay,
I guess like try to like give them an email because they're kind of waiting for an email from you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's all they want so far.
Okay, so I'll touch base with everybody after this meeting. I'll email everyone and be like asking. Actually, I'll basically just email to confirm like what they want from us and whether we can support. This is why I wanted a club collaboration events lead, so I didn't have to do all the emails, but it's fine. I have time now, so I'll just do that after the meeting. Okay, so there's also a Phi Delta Epsilon event. It's called Stand for the Kids. It's like a fundraising event. on October 21st. Oh, it's a Zoomathon with exercise challenges, games hub, and raffle. They want gift cards, maybe Zoom Pro, Eventbrite fees, which I feel like we can't cover. But they are planning to apply for a grant. So I don't know. Is anyone interested in being CC'd on the email that I send out to them? Just like helping. I don't know. What do people think? Should I just tell them no, or is anyone interested in working with them on this event? Okay. No one is responding, so I assume that's a no, and I will email them. The next one is another one from Real Estate Club. November 6th, How to Network 101. And they're asking for gift cards and merch, so $150. They're planning on applying for a grant, so after Dipti and I get the guidelines together, I will email them back and double check. Abby, are you typing something? Okay, you can just go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can support that event as well.
Okay, I will CC you on the email then.
Thank you.
Okay, and then thankfully that's the last of the applications that I got. Okay, so I will just move on then because I'm sick of talking about student event collaborations. Nothing in the chat, so I assume you're all sick of it too. For October events check-in, I think Emma left, which sucks because I think she's the only Grey's Anatomy fan here. Some people were interested in doing like a Grey's Anatomy trivia night, but I don't watch Grey's Anatomy. Does anyone here watch Grey's Anatomy? Okay, Ahad says he used to. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, is your knowledge of Grey's Anatomy extensive enough to create trivia questions? Because I don't know enough about it to do that. Okay. How about I connect? Shoot. Because then if we do this trivia night, it can't be part of trivia week. It'll probably be later because we haven't passed a motion on the prizes. So I'll just connect you with Emma and maybe some other people who are interested later. I'll just put your name down for that. And for the rest of the events, next week we have the trivia week, which we talked about earlier. And then the week after, Fiona, I don't know if you're still interested in doing like a food pie workshop thing on the 21st. Fiona, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still interested in doing that. It's just like I didn't have time to like compile the budget for the amount of it. I already like took the, I went to a supermarket and just like took down numbers for the ingredients and stuff like that. So I just need to like put them in one spot.
Okay, no worries.
I'll probably message you later on about it to give you an update.
Okay, do you know how much money this event would cost, if any, or like does it have to go to the events committee so we can pass a motion on it?
I just need to find my phone and use the calculator.
Okay, because I'm looking at our calendar and our next event is like literally, or our next meeting is literally the day of. So if this event were to cost money, we could pass a motion on the 21st and then host the event like literally a few hours later.
I would be down for that.
Okay. Yeah, we're all procrastinators. It's fine. I'm used to tight timelines.
Yeah. So generally the event should be like not on this time, obviously, but probably later at night. Yeah. I'll let you confirm. I already hired someone to be my cameraman, or brought them with food.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm just gonna move on really quickly because we have like 10 minutes left before the meeting ends. So for post-event reports, I would recommend starting these reports like even before the event, because after like a few weeks, if you wait until right before the events committee to do your post-event report, sometimes you might forget things, and it's just easier to do the report like as you're at the event or like right after, so you can get it out of the way. And it ensures that the event is fresh on your mind, and then you don't forget to include any important details. Like you can note down how many people attended, how many people were actively participating, and things like that. Okay, and then I think that's everything. Oh, updates. Dance week and dance workshops. Karishma left, but I think the post-event report is sent as an attachment, and we gave a verbal report at the last meeting. Pet Social, Abby, Anna, and Adrienne were there. Adrienne left, but I think it went pretty well. The pets were so cute. What do you think, Abby?
Minty was the MVP.
Minty's a ferret. That was great. And Adrienne is working on the gift card stuff. So Dipti, she'll get in touch with
Oh,
you.
I should say to that, I got a random $10 gift card in my email from, I don't know if it was the SFSS or the event specifically. And it's not related to any event. So I don't know if I just won something or if that got sent to be a mistake. So let me know what to do with that. I'm happy to use it. Just let me know.
Abby, that was for one of the events you hosted. There were 3 prizes, so it was for you to send out to the winner.
You already sent me I already got all 3 of them though. They've already been sent out because they all had the
Did you send all 3?
Yeah. I'll double check with a $10 winner, but I'm pretty sure I already sent it.
I sent you 3, so I think let me check. I can give you the cost of it. Okay. These were the Amazon ones, right? $10 Amazon card or?
Yep.
Maybe we can double check on that after the meeting. And then Abby, you and Dipti can maybe email, or you can email me and I can just talk to Dipti. Okay, I'm just gonna move on really quickly. So the food justice webinar also went pretty well. I think people were super engaged. We didn't get a huge attendance, sadly, but the people who did come were super engaged. You can find the post-event report attached. It's like, it goes into it in much more detail. Abby, do you want to talk about the Nhl Watch Party?
I do. We had 15 people show up. It was pretty good. We had some issues because I believed in my Wi-Fi, but my Wi-Fi did not believe in me back. But luckily we found some alternate solutions. So we just spread the link and then everyone was able to kind of watch on their own, but everyone stayed in the group as well so we could keep chatting. A couple of my friends really tried to get me in trouble. I'm glad not too many people were listening because they tried to talk about politics and I had to spend 5 minutes trying to mute each of them, but luckily they got it after a while, so it was all good. But everyone had a lot of fun. I think for future events, if they're on Zoom again, make sure A, we have the best streaming site available, and B, I think download of at least 75. Actually, no, I already have 75. I guess we're gonna have to try 100 megabytes per second down for whoever is streaming it.
Yeah. It's just, I feel like a lot of events are limited by technology, because when I last hosted a trivia night, like I had to use my sister's computer because mine couldn't handle Zoom and screen sharing Kahoot at the same time. So I don't know, I might build my own PC. We'll see. I do it just for events committee. Okay, so the next events update is Rave streaming party. Is Ahad still here? Yes, he is. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the first giveaway that we had, that was like pretty successful. We got like a lot of response on it. I think it was like over 200 comments and over 100 likes, and that did bring a lot of followers to the SFSS Insta page as well. And yeah, so the Rave streaming event itself didn't have too many attendees, but the ones who did attend seemed to enjoy it. So we did get a good response from them. So I guess like generally people do seem to be interested in like music related events. So I think we can, that's something we can explore in the future.
Yeah, the person who is engaging with us in the chat on the Rave stream suggested we should do something like it again because she really enjoyed the event. And then now we follow each other on Instagram, like on our personal accounts. So, okay. For next, we have Cultural Week. So I guess I can give an update on that. I think it went really well. My phone was super slow, so I sometimes had trouble uploading all of the stuff. If you missed Cultural Week, we have a Cultural Week highlights button on the SFSS_events page. Overall, the feedback was really positive. We got a lot of engagement, like I think 100 or so people voted on the Instagram story polls and stuff, which was awesome. We also got some new followers, and then all the groups that we collaborated with were like, oh, this was such a good experience. Thank you so much. One thing though is when I posted the Cultural Week graphic on our Instagram, somebody from SFU Arabs commented, "We feel left out." And then I was like, okay, I'll message you. And then I messaged them, and then they never got back to me. So I don't know what's happening with that. But one thing I would suggest for the future is to send a call out for applications for students to come to us instead of us reaching out to people we need personally who are in culture clubs, just so that we don't leave anybody out. Okay, and then next is Samosa food workshop update. Oh, actually, no. Heather, do you want to say something?
Yeah, just a question. Do we have numbers on like which club had the most views for the
Yes, I have that. It was the ALAS, Association for Latin American Students. They had so much engagement, like a huge reach. I think it might be because they really promoted this Instagram takeover. Like they promoted it on their own social media, and they were like, please watch this. They also had a lot of stuff. The interactive trivia was really fun. They also taught us how to make flan. Yeah, but they had the most views. And I think PSA, Pakistan Student Association, was a close second. Okay, so I'll move on to Samosa food workshop update. This happened on the Sunday of Culture Week. I made cute little samosas. It was adorable and it was so fun. I'm kind of really hungry now, so I might end this meeting on that note so I can go eat. The Samosa post-event report you can find attached in the email, but it just pretty much went well. The food was really good. People were really happy. They actually made food alongside us, which is awesome because it wasn't just me and the chef making food. People also made food and then they showed us their food, which is amazing. And it just, they said this food smelled really good. So I hope that means it's a success. But yeah. Okay, so finally, 2 announcements. The Plant Ethno-Botany webinar is tomorrow. We actually got more than 40 signups, which is awesome. Basically, it's going to be an indigenous speaker talking about plants and plants native to this area, like Lower Mainland, and also like how indigenous folks use plants. Second announcement is that there's a photo editing workshop on Friday, October 9th. The one yesterday about photo taking went really well. So please go to SFSS_events Instagram and talk about the photo editing workshop and promote it. Okay, so I'll move on to adjournment. Be it resolved to adjourn the meeting at 1:30 p.m. right in time. Can I get a mover?
Heather.
Thanks, Heather. Can I get a seconder?
Abby.
Okay, so Heather moves, Abby seconds. All in favor seeking unanimous consent. Okay, looks like motion carries and the meeting's adjourned at 1:30 p.m. Thanks. Oh, I'm gonna stop the recording.